All right, Saagar, what are you looking at?
Well, the recent release of CDC study on Youth Risk Behavior Survey of American teenagers, it's ignited a firestorm in our political discourse. Teen girl depression is going up. No, wait, all youth depression is skyrocketing. Well, is it the smartphones? Is it general social paranoia? You can basically pick your poison when it comes to these takes. It won't surprise you what angle the mainstream media has gone with. You would think that the only story in any of these data is that teen girl depression has gone up. In fact, I could not find a single mainstream outlet that didn't lead with the CDC framing, exclusively about teen girls. More interesting writers, though, have dug into not only the teen girl data, all of the data, and they've come away with better conclusions that are more nuanced. So let's focus on the major takeaways that most of the media is ignoring right now. But it's very glaringly obvious. The ubiquity of smartphones amongst all teenagers and its solid entrenchment into their everyday lives. Blogger Noah Smith notes that teen girls' suicide, anxiety, self-poisoning, and major depressive episodes all began to skyrocket in 2011, and they hit escape velocity in 2013. What changed? As Noah notes, while those who don't want to blame the smartphone often point out, it came out in 2007. Why did it take so long? But the actual mass adoption of smartphones amongst teenagers happened in, wait for it, 2011. Basically the exact same year that these symptoms began to take off. Now, we have had over a decade with the smartphone, and it's basically inseparable from teenage life at this point. We have all kinds of crazy data to back this up and what it's actually done. Face-to-face interaction between teenagers has plummeted, all starting in 2010, right around the mass adoption of the smartphone. It continues to hit record lows, with teenagers, both boys and girls, reporting fewer friends than ever before. Social isolation with mimicked communication online is no substitute now for actual friendships, as we all found out the hard way during the pandemic. Another illuminating chart from researcher Jean Twenge is even more clear-cut. Adolescents with depression of low well-being report many more hours on their smartphones, with the most depressed reporting some 5 to 6 hours a day of screen time. Now, is it the cause? Maybe, maybe not, but it's a good indication. Our friend Richard Hanania also did a systematic review of all of the data, not only from the US, but from around the world, and he came away with this quote: "Overall, we find strong evidence of declines in teenage mental health over the last decade or so, based on government data with large sample sizes, not only in the US, but Australia, Canada, France, Ireland, Sweden, Norway, and the UK. He adds, quote, "Overall, this makes an extremely strong case that the problem goes way beyond the United States or even English-speaking countries." But if you look a little closer, as Richard points out, there are very interesting anomalies to consider. In Hungary, the Netherlands, and South Korea, we don't see the corresponding rise in teenage mental health issues. Richard notes that these countries may not be as culturally similar to the United States, thus they may have something within them to resist the same pull that has brought nearly every other developed country down. But there's another take here which is also important. Is it really the phones? Or are we just freaking out because they're new? As venture capitalist Mark Andreessen observed, quote, "We did not live in a calm, placid, rational, happy world before smartphones. People have been bananas forever. On most metrics, people were more bananas in the past than they are now. If anything, technology may be calming people down." Instead, he posits the simplest explanation for whatever the hell that we're going through is some kind of secularized great awakening where transformation, societal change is taking place. It's not unprecedented at all. In Western history, the last great awakening in US history was only 50 years ago. The rise of militant evangelical Christianity, the decline of mainline Protestantism. The modern pro-life movement, much of the political orientation of the American South, is traced right back to that. But how does this compare? A possible explanation is that social trends like smartphones, atomization, combined with what can be best described as empty woke catastrophizing, is leading to its own great awakening, as we've referred to it in the past. Writer Matthew Iglesias actually dug into some of that data, and he found something that's actually astonishing. Focusing on teen girls completely misses the point. When you look at the comprehensive studies that control for gender and for political ideology, you get a different view. It's young liberals who are actually especially depressed, with liberal teen boys outpacing conservative teen girls in depression. So let's discuss why. One theory came from Jill Filipovich, who Iglesias highlights, writing, quote, "I am increasingly convinced there are tremendously negative long-term consequences, especially to young people, coming from this reliance on the language of harm and accusations that things one finds offensive are, quote, deeply problematic or even violent." She continues, quote, "Just about everything that researchers understand about resilience and mental well-being suggests that people who feel like they are the chief architects of their own life are vastly better off than people whose default position is victimization. victimization, hurt and a sense that the life simply happens to them and they have no control over their response. So it could be that victimization and politics itself is to blame. Smartphones aren't at all. Or maybe it's both. Who really knows? What I do know is we have a big problem. As to the solution, it's anyone's guess. And the best thing is to look at the problem from all angles, as I've attempted here, instead of a myopic explanation, so that we can eventually try to do something about it. And in the meantime, you got to take care of each other, because it seems to be something that we are doing less and less of as a society. So I thought it was really interesting, something I've focused here is,
Hey guys, ready or not, 2024 is fully upon us now, and Saagar and I have been brainstorming ways that we can really up our game for this critical election.
Yeah, we rely on our premium subs to expand our coverage, to add staff, to upgrade the studio. We just want to give you the best independent coverage of this election, which is possible. So if you can help us out, become a premium subscriber today, breakingpoints.com, or the link is down here in the description video. It really means the world to us. And if you like what we're all about, this is the best possible way to keep us 100% independent, working only for you.